This is what's going to keep you consistent. No matter what, you will never waste your efforts and you can never unlearn anything because you're gaining experience. Every time you do something for yourself, your future self will thank you for that, and that way you trust yourself even more to keep showing up. And the most dangerous person that the world honestly needs to be afraid of is not the smartest guy in the room or the most talented or the most charismatic, but the one that keeps showing up even when there's no guarantee that they're going to be rewarded for it. They are devoted to the cause, and that's how they will succeed, because that person is a bit delusional, delulu, maybe even a bit crazy, but they're consistent about it. Salulu. That is so scary in a good way, and if you put a bit of strategy and patience behind that, then that crazy consistent person is going to win big and reap all of the rewards over everybody else, because the easiest way to feel regret and sadness about your life is to have big dreams for it and then you crush them with your own actions. Think about it, you can have the best plan in the world or have a ton of money, or you can be the most talented, but if you're not showing up and putting in the work, then you would have done nothing. It is extremely noisy here at the moment. I'm outside, there's a lot of environmental noise going on. How much lawn are they gonna mow? Everybody just decided to mow their lawn at the same time today, so let's just keep going. But the person who keeps executing and staying calm, even when nothing's guaranteed, they're at least trusting that their work is going to pay off eventually. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So whether it's a new habit or routine that you're building or a new skill that you're trying to learn, as long as you keep going at it over time consistently, and maybe even staying a bit flexible to pivot if you ever get stuck, there is no way that you're going to lose. I guarantee it, and I'm going to teach you how to stay consistent. If you're new here, hi, my name is May. I make videos about self-improvement, transformation, and becoming the kind of person that you yourself can respect. If you're on that same journey as me, welcome. You're exactly at the right place at the right time, because I'm getting into it today. You may notice that I'm somewhere new. I'm in Key West right now. I'm actually supposed to be on vacation, but I still want to talk to you guys about consistency, which is very timely, because you can see that no matter where I am, I'm always thinking about you. The things that you do in private will always show up in public. Like, for example, if you read a lot of books, then you're going to reference them whenever you talk to people. The food that you eat shows up physically in your body and in your levels of energy. And if you're very confident, it's probably because you've already proved how much you can trust yourself to constantly be slaying and do whatever you need to do. On the other hand, if you fail to care for yourself, that also shows up in public. If you don't manage your stress properly, your stress will come out in how you carry yourself and interact with other people, and maybe you get really irritated easily, or you take your stress out on other people or things, and you're constantly escaping your own life. I never have to escape my own life because I love my life. You don't even have to force yourself to be disciplined because you have to. You don't have to do anything. Discipline can also be you doing something because you love yourself and you know that doing it will also improve your future. And you're also very privileged, by the way, to even be here, because there are people out there who want nothing more than to have what you have. You're so fortunate to be able to decide what to do. So recognize that and be grateful for that. It's always a good reminder to be thankful for our lives, especially if we're very hard on ourselves. And that's the kind of lesson that I'm constantly learning. I want to give you guys a real example, and this is something that really keeps me grounded, which is my skincare routine. So for the last 6 months, I've been consistently using skincare products from Yepoda, and they're the sponsor of today's video. And the whole reason why I have such clear, nice skin today, and I don't even need to use foundation anymore, honestly, it's because I have been staying so consistent with good habits, including my skincare routine. And this is the best real-life example of my results, because you can physically see it. I really stuck with it, and it shows that I have discipline, and I will do whatever it takes. So all Yepoda's products are made in Korea using natural and effective ingredients and sustainable packaging. They've basically taken the traditional Korean glass skin method and turned it into simple steps that anyone can follow. Every morning, I start with a clean face, which is when I begin layering on my skincare products. And my steps are so simple. You don't want to complicate anything. You can always rotate your products, but I never use 10 to 12 steps in the skincare routine because that actually adds more stress to your face. I also always look at evidence-based ingredients in skincare, which Yepoda straight up has, and it's minimal and clean, which is great because I'm a huge stickler about doing only what works, obviously. So the first step is the mist half, which is a lightweight hyaluronic acid hydrating mist. This is my favorite toner mist because of the hyaluronic acid ingredient, which helps your skin retain the rest of the products even better. I even bring this with me sometimes during the day just to like spray on me because I live in such a hot tropical climate. So this step actually makes the rest of your skincare routine even more effective because hyaluronic acid retains all of that moisture. That actually preps your skin perfectly for the Glow Hero Serum, and I think that the ingredient in this bakuchio oil is what really gives me that glowy, glassy skin look, and it keeps my skin looking so radiant and healthy. The last step of my routine is sealing everything in with a moisturizer. So in the morning, I use the Make My Day cream, And then at night, I use the Midnight Magic Sleeping Mask, and they both contain Centella asiatica, or Cica for short. And this is an incredible ingredient in K-beauty because it repairs your skin barrier. So if your skin is feeling stressed and sensitive, or if you're breaking out a lot and your skin needs to heal, this is really what I would recommend using. So the formula of this day cream is lighter, and then the night cream has a bit of calming lavender in it and a slightly thicker formulation so that it can do double duty as a sleeping mask, and that retains all of the moisture throughout the night. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I see self-care as something so essential, and it teaches me that as long as I stay consistent, I will see real results. When you show up for yourself, even when you're tired, even when you don't want to do your skincare routine, and yet you still do it, this really only takes 1 to 2 minutes a day max. Your glow up is going to become so inevitable because consistency is not about getting super intense and aggressive with your habits, but rather just having the patience and allowing some time for you to settle into your results. So if you want skincare that reflects your effort over time, check out Yepoda. I also love how beautiful these products look. It actually gives me so much joy to look at, and I will link all of my products below, and thank you to Yepoda for sponsoring this video. So usually when someone tries to start a new habit or routine and they think, okay, I need to change something about what I'm doing because it's not working, the chances of them being in fight or flight mode is pretty high, because when things are not working out and you're inconsistent, all the more you want to fix something. That creates even more anxiety, especially if you have ADHD like I do, where sometimes you can be really focused and other times it's so hard to get anything done. The truth is, most people don't fail because they're lazy. And in fact, I don't even know if I believe in laziness anymore. There's always some kind of underlying root of the problem, and laziness is only a symptom. And usually, from what I'm observing, it's a response to lack of self-worth and security. But most of all, I notice that people fail to build new habits from a place of safety, because you can't do that when your life is super chaotic. You just simply cannot build a new foundation while your ground is still shaky, and you can't build discipline while your nervous system is still in survival mode and you're feeling anxious all the time. So tell me if this resonates with you, okay? You know that feeling when it's like Sunday night and you're dreading your week, you're constantly scrolling on your phone and you're overthinking everything, you're super behind, and then maybe something is due the next morning. Your brain is in danger mode before your week even starts. So when your switch is on like that, your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that handles decision making, it shuts down. So you're definitely not focused, and instead you start acting impulsively. This is why you can sit around and binge TikTok or Netflix for 6 hours, but you can't get started on an email or a project plan, because social media and Netflix doesn't threaten your brain. It feels comforting and safe, but your work feels like you're going to fail. So when someone says, oh, you know, just be disciplined, it's like telling someone to go run a marathon but your ankle sprained. You have to repair the environment that your mind lives in first before you get to start building new habits. And it starts by some very, very small physical things that almost seems too basic, but these basic things are important. Like, for example, in the morning, making sure that you're getting enough sunlight, you're getting enough sleep, you're staying active, you're moving your body, you're drinking enough water. These are all the easiest little basic switches that can put you physically out of survival mode and put you in a safe place to grow, because morning sunlight tells your body that you're safe to wake up. Good sleep resets your brain chemistry. Your willpower literally takes time to recharge at night. So this is really important, okay? And then your movement during the day is like fertilizer for your brain, which triggers new neural pathways. So every time you're moving your body, you are refreshing your mind. Even in the book Atomic Habits, the author James Clear said it the best: every action that you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. You don't have to win every time. As long as you win the majority of the time, you're already winning. So even when you skip a day or two, it's totally fine. It doesn't erase everything that you worked so hard for. You can always get back up tomorrow and keep going. And whatever tools that you want to use, please use it. I have daily planners, notebooks, calendars, and this is so important because I have attention deficit. I also use Finch. It's like a self-care app where every little thing you do goes towards taking care of a cute penguin. And you also get rewarded with new clothes, new furniture for the house. A bunch of people on my Discord are on this, and I accept friend requests from everyone on my Discord on Finch, and we're keeping everyone accountable. So for some reason, I noticed that this is drilled into everyone's brain, the fact that thinking success means you have to achieve a lot and that you have to take a bunch of big steps until it's done. This is half true. So the lie is the big steps part. You don't have to take any big steps at all. And the truth is, eventually, those big changes that happen all come from these microscopic shifts. Tiny progress is being made even when it feels like nothing's happening or invisible. And this is what the compound effect is about. It's like compound interest. You don't notice it at first and it's really boring. But then slowly over time, it starts to build momentum momentum until it's unstoppable. And then once it gets to that inflection point, when the graph just keeps going up, 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 that's when it doesn't stop and you can only feed it so it goes even more. And that's the point where you see the most returns. And the problem is most people give up and quit before you even get to this inflection point, before you even see any kind of success, because your brain cannot handle uncertainty. And then of course, if you're constantly acting from a place of anxiety and fight or flight mode, what makes you think you can handle this uncertainty, right? But let me tell you something, and I am 100% certain about it. Okay, so let's say we start learning French today. If you keep showing up, no matter what the certainty looks like, and you practice and you make progress, the majority of the time, 51% of the time, that certainty is you're going to speak French fluently in a year, maybe even less. Consistency is like a delayed feedback loop. It's always the hardest in the beginning, always. Like my skin didn't clear up after 2 days. And I also didn't get crazy focused after doing meditation one time or going to a yoga class one time. Your life will not change after 1 day of waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, but you're kicking it into gear. You're starting something. You're starting the work. It just hasn't shown up yet. So think about bamboo trees, for example. You won't even see anything going on for years, but it keeps building roots further down into the earth, which is completely invisible to us. And then suddenly, boom, in only a few weeks, it shoots up like 90 feet. That's the compounding effect in nature. And since everything is interconnected, you are the same as well. Your roots are forming right now, even when you show up and it doesn't look like anything is working for you. So never once in the history of my YouTube channel will you ever hear me say that I want to seek perfection in any way. I can never be perfect, and that's totally fine because perfection is the enemy of good. Consistency is about being good constantly and not achieving perfection one time. And the way that you do that is by staying in a good rhythm. So if your routine is not something that you're constantly fighting against and resisting, but rather something that you can flow with, that you really love and enjoy doing genuinely, then this is going to be so easy for you because you can enter your rhythmic flow state so easily. If I'm having a terrible day today, I will show up tomorrow when it's easier for me to get into my rhythm. And that is also a form of self-care, which is a part of my purpose. And there's a quote I love, and it says to be stubborn with your goals, but flexible with your methods. That is the art of staying adaptable and flexible, and I'm a huge fan of that. If you can bend without breaking, then you're going to outlast everyone who can't do that, and most people can't do that. Whether that's stubbornness or rumination, as in you're overthinking too much, that is also the enemy of good. It's the enemy of progress, because if you're stubborn and dead set on something and you keep showing up every day no matter what, then genuinely you're being insane. But the real differentiator is that you can keep showing up and you can see when something is not happening the way that you want to, no matter what you do. Then stop resisting and take another path, a more natural path that feels right to you, that feels better to you. You have to know when something just isn't going to work out no matter what, and you have to pivot. You have to know when to rest, and you have to know when to keep going. That's so important. True discipline is not to keep grinding and hustling no matter what. Like, you have to think of it like devotion. And I find devotion to be so beautiful. I was reading a book recently called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And one thing that really stood out to me, where he said that true focus is rare because we train ourselves for fragmentation, especially with our phones, especially with social media. Every single notification we get, it's constantly rewiring your brain to expect being interrupted all the time. So if you want to resist that, it's basically to just keep staying with something and stick with it, even if it's not checking your phone for an hour, right? Even if you're trying to stick to doing the dishes, something boring like that, because every time you resist distraction, you're teaching your brain that the things that you want to do really matters to you. You have to be okay with being bored sometimes. If your nervous system can be trained to tolerate that boredom, that's when you can really see a lot of growth, because most of growth happens when you are bored. You're building consistency through loving that monotony and not by chasing constant stimulation and dopamine. Although I dare say that it helps you if you apply it the right way, but that will be the more difficult way to do it. I love being bored because being bored and raw dogging life is really so hard to do, and if you can overcome that, you're superhuman. Every single rep that you take at the gym, for example, is a vote for your future self. You have to remember that. You won't see results the day that you show up, but your body is going to remember it. Your brain's going to remember it. And every single step you take is you building your future. Everything I've achieved in my life has been the result of me not knowing what the future holds or if I'll ever succeed, but believing in myself anyways. And in my opinion, what better than to bet on yourself? It's the same thing with other great habits like journaling, eating healthy food, showing up for therapy, washing your face every night. You're not doing it for today. You're doing doing it for who you're going to become 3 to 6 months from now. And here's the thing, right? Quality takes time. Things of quality have no fear of how long it's going to take. You can grow slower than everybody else and still end up further ahead because you're staying consistent, and consistency rewards you exponentially because your foundation is so solid. This is exactly what I have learned through every single time I try to change my life and reinvent myself, every time I glow up, every comeback that I take after suffering a huge loss or an L, or when I claw back from rock bottom. The slow build will always last longer than the quick recoveries. And I love the slow burn because it really locks you in. Think about how many more molecules concrete cement has over a bottle of air, for example. Concrete is so much more dense. It has such dense matter compared to air, and it is so heavy you can't just simply blow it away. I know that's a weird analogy maybe, but what I'm trying to say is here that even when you fall off, you can always find your way back, and that's how you can get back in the game and never fall off. I'm a woman in STEM, by the way. Just because you skip a day or two, it's nothing compared to like 365 days. It's literally nothing. So maybe stop thinking about your habits like a to-do list that you have to check off, and start thinking about it like going to karaoke. You can skip a beat or you can forget some lyrics, but if you keep staying in rhythm and get back in, eventually you're going to complete your song, your performance. And that is truly the beauty of consistency over time. Habits will never really disappear because you've built up the neural pathways to handle these new habits of yours. Even when you think that you want to quit or you gave up on something years ago and you come back to it, your neural pattern is still there waiting to be reactivated. Your muscle memory still remembers that. That means every time you come back, you do rebuild faster than you think. And similarly, this has been true for me. Even when I regained 10 to 15 pounds for my Euro summer, for example, it takes me so much less time to get back on track and do it again and get back to a healthy weight. It literally gets easier and easier over time because your body and your mind will never forget all the work that you put into it. You're never going to restart from zero. And if you've ever thought to yourself, okay, I can't stay consistent with anything, okay, that is not true. That is a fallacy. If you've always been consistent at, let's say, giving up or doom scrolling or overthinking or worrying, even staying in a state of sadness and comparing yourself with other people, whatever it is, if you're so consistent with those things, then why can't you be consistent with what you actually want? Because you've already proven to yourself that you can stay consistent. Now you just have to lock in and focus. I know that doing boring stuff is not exciting or glamorous or anything, going monk mode, locking in instead of like balling out somewhere. And trust me, I know I live in Miami. It literally takes so much discipline to not want to ruin your life there, but I'm truly living that life, that repetitive, boring life of quiet and discipline, which to me is the ultimate aesthetic. Like I am more impressed by that than, I don't know, everything else that's material, because at least I can find meaning in it instead of losing my mind. I used to live a life of hedonism and I chased after fun stuff. I would even go on multi-day benders, but the only thing that I got out of that experience, honestly, is trauma and wasted time. So even back then, when I was trying to find meaning in my life, I couldn't do it. It was incredibly lame. And it's better to just work hard because at least you know that you're staying true to yourself, and sometimes the things reveal itself to you through the work. So think about all the times when you actually did work hard and be proud of that. You've done boring things before, and so you know what these boring things can do for you. It literally builds your peace brick by brick. And again, from the book Atomic Habits, James Clear says you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You don't have to even be incredibly extraordinary at anything. You don't have to be amazing at all, okay? But the more automatic and normal you make doing these boring tasks seem to you, the more natural these systems are going to look when you start to build them. Even my skincare routine is a system that I built, and these systems are put in place to protect you from yourself. Your ego, your impulsiveness, your so-called laziness, and your procrastination. So what does a system look like? It can be anything like a to-do list, a reminder, or even an alarm clock that you put in another room so that in the morning when you wake up, you have to go and grab it from the other room so that it stops ringing. Or even a friend who keeps you accountable. For example, for my YouTube channel and Patreon members, we have a weekly event every Sunday on my Discord where we do body doubling. That means we're together, we're doing anything that's productive, whether you're cleaning or doing homework or writing a book, whatever it is, we're all there present with you and keeping in touch with each other. These are the kind of anchors that will keep you grounded even when you don't feel motivated to do something, because motivation can come and go. It's exactly like your thoughts and your emotions. And motivation, I think it's like an emotion as well. Like if you really think about it, your flow state and your rhythm, as well as all of the things that you have learned from doing things correctly in the past, these things remain and stay with you for the rest of your life. Even when you forget, your body remembers. So if you take anything from this video, just remember that consistency is about building proof that you can can trust yourself to do the things that you have to do. And deep down, you know what you have to do. You don't need to know what the future is going to look like. As long as you continue to show up, you're going to keep getting better at it, and everything is going to make sense to you one day, because it will. And that way you're going to be successful no matter what, and you'll be so confident too because you've done it already. If you refuse to quit even when things are looking chopped or when nobody's clapping for you, that makes you so dangerous. Trusting and staying accountable to yourself is truly the real glow up. So no matter what it is you want to build, you don't need to rush anything. Just give it some time and space to accumulate and keep showing up, because consistency beats intensity all the time. Things of quality have no fear of time, and your level up is always going to be in the horizon, okay? So repeat after me in the comments. I will show up for myself no matter what, and lock in. If you want to meet other people who are just like you and I have a group trip coming up next summer. We're going island hopping in Greece, and this is the second year that I'm doing this. You can sign up on my website, and thank you all so much for watching. Thanks to Leopoldo for sponsoring my video, and I will see you in the next video.